Shout out to my friend Greg Roberts at Matson Logistics. Love it. Nice. All right, let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Standing Out, daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. And we are here, going to have a great show today. So glad that you are with us. It's going to be awesome. We've had a great week already of guests. And again, the lineup is absolutely stacked again this week. If you missed yesterday's episode, make sure you go back and check it out. We've got some awesome guests going to be on the show all week long. Nicole was awesome yesterday. Can't wait to bring Mark Derks on the show today, talk about marketing. He's with Blue Grace. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow, my good friend Chris Woods from Kansas City at Sims Global is going to be there. And as well on Thursday, my good friend Raquel Packets. She is the president and founder of Zen Freight Solutions. And then on Friday, my good friend Shauna Suckhouse. She is a keynote speaker, does a tremendous job. Got to meet her at an event earlier this year. She's going to be the show on Friday. So it's a great lineup of guests. Make sure you come back every day at 10:30 a.m. for an episode of Standing Out. Excuse me, daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, to TAFS, or the good guys in freight factoring. Listen, if you're behind the wheel of a truck as an owner operator or a driver or a small fleet owner, first of all, listen, thank you so much for what you do. We appreciate you getting all these goods around the country and keeping the economy moving. We appreciate you tremendously. Make sure you check out TAFS. They've got all the resources to help you keep those wheels turning, whether it's cash flow needs that you have, discounts on tires, fuel, insurance needs, small business loans, dispatch services, whatever it is, they're going to help you out. And you can click on the link in the comments. That takes you right to my landing page so they know that I sent you. I want to get credit for this, everybody. So click on the link and get started. And if you're a freight broker, you're not off the hook. You're working with carriers every day. Make sure they have what they need to keep those wheels turning so you can become a referral partner by clicking on the link and getting started with TAFS. They're out of the Kansas City area and they're the good guys in freight factoring. Appreciate their support of the show. Also, do me a favor, go to betaconsultinggroup.com and see some of the Standing Out swag that we have at our store. We've got our grand opening that is ending tomorrow, everybody. The end of August is going to be our last day for our grand opening. So make sure you go to our swag store, see all the cool merchandise we have for Standing Out, whether it be water bottles, coffee mugs, t-shirts, whatever it is, and use coupon code beta-GO to get 30% off. And then make sure you take a picture of the swag when you get it, because we love to see you wearing it or using it, whatever it is that you end up picking up. And again, use that coupon code beta-GO to get 30% off and be a part of our community of people pursuing excellence every day. We want you to be a part of that. All right, we're going to have a great show today. Can't wait to bring on my next guest. I got to meet him for the first time at the TMSA annual conference in Orlando back in June, which was a phenomenal conference. If you're in transportation and you're in marketing or sales function at all, you need to be a part of the TMSA. It's one of the best memberships out there. Great people, very collaborative spirit, and just a lot of fun. I mean, we're the marketing and sales people, so we have a good time, a lot of fun. We've got a couple of events coming up. We'll talk about that on the show, but want to bring to the show my good friend who is the CMO of Blue Grace Logistics and also the current, I think, president, if I get it right, of the TMSA. So everybody, please welcome to the show my good friend, Mark Derks. Mark, what's up, man? How are you?
Hi, Trey. Hi, everybody. Great to be on the show. Great to see you.
All right, now I'm kind of embarrassed because I know that you are leading the TMSA this year. You just got sworn in. Is it president? Is that the right title?
I am the president of TMSA. Yes.
I thought that's what it was, but sometimes it's like chairman of the board or different things like that. So I want to make sure I got it right. But thanks so much for being on the show. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. And like any other role you have in life, I also have a boss, my good friend Tom Collins of Saddle Creek Logistics. I'll give a call out as being the chairman of the TMSA.
There we go. And Tom's a great guy too. I had a great chance to meet him as well back when we were in Orlando for that event, which was just a phenomenal event. Let's start with this. Before we dig into that, give everybody just a quick 30 seconds about who you are and what's going on at Blue Grace Logistics.
Yeah, I'm the chief marketing officer of Blue Grace. Blue Grace is one of the largest 3PLs in the United States. I've been there going on 2 years, and most of my professional career has been in marketing and supply chain. And so prior to Blue Grace, I did have a long-term career with C.H. Robinson. I was a communicator and an operator in their business for about 10 years. And then I ran their marketing, domestic, and then their global marketing and their enterprise marketing for the last 11. So I had a long time, 21-year career there. And in between Robinson and Blue Grace, I had a partnership and ownership in a marketing agency, kind of a content and a digital agency called Words at Work here in Minneapolis. Got a chance to market outside of supply chain, but still B2B, still complex industries like technology, healthcare, electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, higher education, et cetera. So I've had the pleasure to be in and outside of supply chain from a marketing and a leadership perspective, but glad to be back at Blue Grace, hyper growth company, and working hard every day to solve problems for our clients and provide those carriers with a frictionless experience, as you were talking about tasks earlier in the show.
Yeah, and it's interesting how, once you're in supply chain or transportation, it kind of just keeps reeling you back in. You got back into it. It seems to be the case with a lot of people, and you have tremendous experience. I want to talk about that in just a minute, about some of the changes that have occurred. But before we do that, and we've got Jennifer Carpus Romaine in the comments, who is oh my gosh, executive director, right? I'm missing the titles today. I am blowing the titles, everybody, today. That's how it works. But
She
Jennifer,
is the face of TMSA.
that's right.
Absolutely.
And she's doing a phenomenal job. So thanks for being in the comments today with that. Let's talk about the TMSA just for a little bit. How long have you been involved with the TMSA?
Yeah, it's interesting because I would tell you, as a young professional at C.H. Robinson, I actually they were very involved in TMSA, and I was actually involved as a young professional. This is 25 years ago. And I was a judge for the Compass Awards, what they call the Compass Awards. Today they're called the Trailblazer Awards, and they're much more modernized and different than they were back then. But beyond that, I wasn't all that involved through a larger part of my career. But when I stepped away from C.H. Robinson in about 2018, I joined the board of TMSA. And the reason that I did that, well, one is I was asked to join the board and participate. But I always look at TMSA, right, as this trade nonprofit organization that's very mission driven and purpose driven to support the sales and marketing professionals and function in the industry. So for me, it was a way to give back through volunteerism and help their mission and their vision of providing education and access to the sales and marketing professionals of our industry.
Yeah, and what I love about TMSA, and I've said it many times, I'm going to keep saying it again, is the collaborative spirit. The people that are willing to give of their time, not only for the organization, but also to help fellow members and fellow attendees, to help them succeed in whatever they're doing, whether it's a marketing agency like what we're doing, or whether it's marketing for a specific company or whatever it is. The collaborative spirit is absolutely phenomenal. I have to say, it's not like anything I've seen in the industry since I've been here 12 years. I've never seen anything like it before. It's really tremendous. Where do you think that stems from?
Well, I think just in general, I would say, industry wide, there's a lot of trade associations or just other communities built up within supply chain, and they focus on every other area of business, right? There's finance councils, there's maintenance councils, we have IT, tech innovation councils, we have people type councils, but what is there for the sales and marketing portions of our business? And really what there is TMSA. It is that community and that network of professionals that are gathering together across the TMSA platform. Yes, there are events, but there are many other opportunities for access to connect to this professional group of supply chain leaders. And for me, it's interesting, right? Because it's an area and an opportunity where sales and marketers come together. So if you think about marketing, you think about sales, and you think about the everlasting divide between the two.
Seemingly, yeah,
It's
yeah.
an opportunity where we're bringing those two functions together, those two sources of people together. And I think the spirit of TMSA is just one of helpfulness, right? It's one of nobody's showing up at TMSA asking you to divulge your top strategic secrets. We're building a platform and a process around collaboration to help the sales individual, to help the marketing individual. And as you do that from a personal perspective, you're also helping them professionally, because you're taking those type of learnings and education and relationships back into your organizations. And that's the magic, right? You're putting into play, like, what's the ROI of being in TMSA? We'll join, attend an event, get access to some of the content, and see how you will use that back in your organizations. And for sure, you will advance your organization by being a member of TMSA.
I can say without a doubt, being at the TMSA Level Up Conference has radically changed and transformed my business in a positive way that I could not have done otherwise. And I'm not saying that, exaggerating in any way. Like, it has been fabulous to have so many great people who have helped me on my journey and joined in what we're doing, which is just absolutely tremendous. Let's plug one event you got coming up. So I believe it's September 21st, I think, is when it's a Wednesday, and you're having an event up in St. Paul. Tell us about it.
We are very excited to have a local event in St. Paul. It is sponsored by Bluegrass Logistics and Luminaries Consulting. If you all know Holly LeBoda, I believe she
Our good
was
friend Holly.
recently on the show. She's a fantastic person and a fantastic resource. And so we're bringing together local sales and marketing professionals, trade and non-trade. Minneapolis is home, obviously, to many of the Fortune 500 companies. So we have a good attendance of marketing agencies, right, that are local here, as well as local transportation, logistics, and supply chain organizations. And we're going to start the event by having a shipper panel. So we're going to get a little education in there. And we have some of the top brands here in the Twin Cities. So there'll be a supply chain leader from the Best Buy Corporation. We have supply chain leaders from Land O'Lakes Corporation, and then we have a supply chain executive from a company called B Stock. And we're going to start off with a little hour-long panel where we can hear from professionals within the supply chain, within the strategic accounts, right? These folks are buyers of our services, right? And they're going to share some perspectives on their process and how they think about supply chain, how supply chain works in their organizations. And we're going to get to hear from the real source. And then after that, we're going to have a networking event with food and beverages. And that's that opportunity and access to other professionals. And we're going to get to know each other, and we're going to get to spend some time together. And, we all have like backgrounds, right? We're in supply chain. We're in the sales and marketing function, and tying all of those three together should prove to be a very worthy event. And we want to invite everybody, TMSA members and non-TMSA members, to come and join us locally for that event.
Yeah, we got the link there. Jennifer put us into the comments. So if anybody's interested, click on that link. I love the fact that it is not just a kind of a powwow, rah-rah type of event, but it's very educational, putting shippers in front of, members of the TMSA or others to learn about their process and to really understand how they need help, how they want help, what their needs are, what their processes are. That's really strategic. I love the fact you're doing that. Well done. I feel like I should drive up to Minneapolis for this event. Even though I'm not local.
I do believe we will have some folks that come from out of state, whether that be Wisconsin or Iowa, or the Dakotas, or Illinois, or people that are just passing through. We do have a LinkedIn live sign up going on, so we're encouraging everybody to definitely come. I'll just say this too for TMSA. They do have this marquee, if you will, annual event, and that is what you have referenced a couple of times. But they also have regional events. There is an executive summit coming up in Atlanta in October. They have these local events though, right? And this is again just another example of access to education, access to professionals within our space. And it goes beyond that, right? TMSA is a content publisher They deliver an extraordinary amount of content on the sales function, on the marketing function, and within the supply chain each and every day. And coming up here in the fall will be a release of our annual sales and marketing benchmark study. It's where we survey sales and marketing professionals, gather all that information, and then put it together into a nice survey response. And again, very useful if you're leading and running marketing operations, sales operations. You can use this information to benchmark where you're at, and you use it to build strategy. You use it to support your education, and this is all coming out of TMSA.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about that. And so, if you're not part of TMSA, if you're watching the show, you're not a part of TMSA, check them out. I believe it's tmsatoday.org/membership to learn more about membership. I think I have that memorized. But no, it's exciting. And I appreciate your leadership, Mark, in terms of the organization and just allowing so many great people to be a part and to help out, and just met a ton of great people with that. So thank you so much for what you're doing on that front. Let's change gears for a minute and let's talk about your career in marketing. I want to dig into this a little bit because in 25 years of marketing, you've probably seen a lot of things change, and you've probably seen some things stay the same. I want to dig into that a little bit. Where are some of the, when you think about when you started in marketing, your first, gig in marketing with C.H. Robinson and what you did with them, to what's happening now? What are some things that have really changed since that time? And what are some things that have not changed so much?
Yeah, I mean, when you think of the value of marketing and transportation, there's a whole list, right, of things that come to mind. And I'm going to just kind of flip flop, right? I'm going to talk about maybe a few things that have stayed the same. I might even throw some things that have evolved, and then I'll talk about things that, you maybe have had the most material change. But things that have stayed the same, and when you think about value of marketing, is let's just consider the brand. Branding, brand management, delivering a brand, and executing an excellent brand experience has always been at the forefront of marketing, right? As marketers, we're trying to grow awareness in the marketplace to do what? Make sales easier, right? Our job as marketers is to support sales and to make sales easier for our organizations. And so that drive and that building of brand awareness, that's always been around. It goes beyond that though, right? Because you can be very present in the marketplace and people don't understand, right? That brand understanding, they don't understand how you deliver value to their organization and how you can help their organization grow. So I think one thing that's evolved over time is a higher level of consciousness around brand understanding and what marketers need to do to communicate and market to clients and potential clients around, like, do you really understand how my brand can help your company solve problems and can help your companies grow? And once you reach that level, we always joke at Blue Grace, we ask customers, hey, how did you hear about us? And they say, well, we see your trucks on the road. When in fact, we're a third-party logistics service. We don't own any trucks. So there's no trucks out there with Blue Grace logos on it. They just don't have that sense of understanding of what a third-party logistics provider is and how we deliver value through people, process, and our technology. So branding, I would say, there's something that's very consistent over time. I'll pick on one thing that I believe is kind of an evolving piece. It's still very relevant today, but it was introduced at least a decade ago. And the big firms like Ernst & Young and McKinsey and some of those accounting firms, they use this way back even in the 80s and 90s. But it's content, right? It's developing content, delivering content. And content that doesn't speak to kind of advertising or the pitchy stick, right? Talking about me, what I do and how I do it. That's not what customers are looking for, right? They're looking for content from a thought leadership perspective. They're looking for content that informs. They're looking for the content that educates. And not everybody is going to develop content and give away every single secret that they have, right? But to be able to provide, one or two or three points of deep insights through a white paper, through a case study, through a video, through a LinkedIn Live event, right? Something that helps the supply chain community. That's an evolving thing within marketing and within the industry that I believe has really benefited the customers, the carriers, the suppliers. I mean, think about all stakeholders, employees. You really learn a lot from the content, even content that you're developing today with me on this show right now. This can be valuable to others that are leaning in to learn from it. So I think content is hasn't always been around. It has been around for a decent amount of time, but I think it continues to evolve. And I'd say maybe two things. We can dive deeper on these, but the real things that have changed are the marketing tech stack, right? The Marcom tech stack, and what's underneath that is digital. Right. So the tech stack has changed significantly with platforms being introduced, such as HubSpot, such as Marketo, such as Eloquent, right? All these automation type systems that help us as marketers deliver what we need to deliver to the marketplace. And then the digital line of things, right? Like, I'm not saying that print advertising is out. There is a lot of people that still continue to do print and deliver print products, right, to clients and to prospective clients. But the digital platforms that you have access now today is pretty incredible, right? And you see them across channels, right? You see them in public relations, you see them in social media, you see them in paid social media, you see them in search, and I mean owned search like SEO and your own website, right? These are platforms that you own. But then also what you buy, right? Paid search from that perspective. So I do think, email automation, I think your ability to reach people digitally, and I'm going to plug the trades, right? The inbound logistics, the logistics management, the supply chain brains, the food logistics. There's so many. I know I can't mention all of them, but they have materially changed and evolved their publishing platforms to help us as marketers reach their audience in a highly digital fashion. So that Marcom tech stack, that's one thing. The digital frame is another. And I'll tell you what I think is changing today even more than it ever has been is this idea of customer journey. And what I mean by that is if you are connected to and read a lot of the Gartner research, like research coming out of Gartner, Aberdeen, Forrester, right? The big research firms from a marketing perspective, and this is marketing only, they talk a lot about how marketing content and platforms are serving the customer and how are they serving the customer in valuable ways during this journey that they are your customer, because customers come and go, right? They'll leave you just as soon as they'll use you. And so how are you as a marketing leader? How is your marketing process? How's your marketing content? How is that delivering against this customer journey? And what they do, and Google does this too, by the way, they score you on the type of content on your website, as well as other platforms like social media, email, and things like that. But they're scoring you, and what they're looking for is, hey, is your website like a commercial brochure still, right? That's kind of one of those unchanged things from the past. Or does your website deliver tools, technology, and content that actually help a customer? Right? Could I go to the Blue Grace website and find out how I might book a load with Blue Grace on a Saturday? Right? That's not a very common thing, right? But if I have a need and I have an expedited shipment that I have to put out over a weekend, can I find out how I can do that? Right? Can I find out from that website how I might be able to track and trace my shipment? Right? Can I find out if there's a delay in my shipment? All these little things, it's kind of the how-to, right? Are you delivering content that makes it easier for your customers to do business with you? Or do you just have the same online brochure, right, that we've seen so many times in the past? So customer journey and the type of content we're developing to make it easier for our customers and our carriers and our suppliers and our employees. Are we making it easier and giving them a 5-star experience? Like somebody might say, well, what's the difference between customer experience and customer journey? They're connected for sure, but I think they're unique, and I think they stand alone and can be assessed kind of differently. So how marketing is impacting and affecting customer journey, I think that's probably one of the biggest changes that we've seen here in the last year or two.
Yeah, that was awesome. Let's just call it what it was. That was a masterclass right there. And I appreciate you breaking that down. There's so much that we could dig into. I want to touch on two things that you said and go back to those. When you talk about content that is, really helpful, I think one of the persons in our industry who does it better than anybody, and she's really small in terms of company size, is Blythe Brumleve. She's always putting out great content that's educational, and it shows her as the expert. And so people start to trust her, and they know what she does by looking at her content. They know exactly what she does. She doesn't have to tell them what she does. She gives them something helpful, shows her expertise, and it's just awesome. I love her content. I think she's one of the best,
She is
at doing that.
fantastic. I agree.
Yeah,
Blythe is absolutely fantastic. Also a board member of TMSA.
that's right. She is a board member. That's right. That's right. And then you said something else at the beginning. I think I may have lost it already. This is what happens when you go live. I didn't take a note, so I lost it. But you said some amazing things there that were awesome. And I think that it was talking about brand. I wanted to ask you this question. I think that a lot of times, because I'm a firm believer that sales and marketing is really one department with two distinct objectives, but they're one department. They're driving revenue. And I've been in companies where the marketing was great and it made sales easy. And I've been in companies where marketing was non-existent and it made sales really, really hard. I think a lot of companies kind of get the cart before the horse here. A lot of times they'll build their sales team or they'll hire a bunch of salespeople and they have no marketing in place whatsoever. Why do you think it is? And tell me if you agree with that or not, but why do you think it is in transportation that companies don't value marketing as much as maybe just like hiring a bunch of sales guys or thinking about sales? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can go both ways, right? People ask me, hey, what's the number one challenge you have in marketing? And I always say getting salespeople to sell marketing leads. Now, our salespeople are fantastic at Blue Grace, and they sell marketing leads like crazy, but it can never be enough, right? And what goes into that idea of selling marketing leads, the whole strategy behind that is to lower your acquisition cost, right? How does marketing make it easier for somebody to sell? and
Hmm.
and lower that time in the pipeline, right? Accelerate
Hmm.
your pipeline and lower your overall cost to a landed account. That's where that kind of collaboration and working together with sales and marketing becomes so important, is being to lower your cost of getting on clients. I think the one thing that you have in terms of let's go out and hire a bunch of salespeople, there's a couple things driving that. One is we're in the business to business industry, right? So we're not in the consumer industry. Now we might have tentacles into consumer industries. And with the latest supply chain disruptions, we're absolutely using LTL to do final mile delivery to customers,
Right.
right? Like it's a new world out there. But the mainstay is we're in business to business, and a lot of legacy, a lot of traditional businesses lean on relationships, and those relationships happen between people. And so I need a large sales team because I need to go out and see and connect with, in that physical space, my potential clients and my actual clients to be able to conduct this business. I'm not pulling at the strings, right, of a tennis shoe, standing in front of a wall of tennis shoes, making an impulse buy to grab that brand of Pumas, right? That's not kind of what this is in B2B. So I think it's the business to business aspect of it. I do think that there's a relationship aspect of it. And I don't mean that just on the customer side. The carrier side of the supply chain industry is critical. I really appreciated your comment about thanking owner operators,
Hmm.
thanking truck drivers. They are the heart blood of how
The
things
heroes.
get
Yeah.
delivered. They are the heroes. And we need relationships with carriers. It can't all be done just with a digital focus. There's plenty of people trying to do that. There's plenty of people evolving and converting to that digital only. But I think, and our philosophy at Blue Grace is that we have exceptional technology that creates this frictionless experience for carriers and drivers together. But that we will maintain relationships at those carriers. And I think that's a key. The other thing about sales, and I want to go and hire a bunch of salespeople, it's very, very easy to prove ROI. Right? I'm a
Yeah.
person, I go out, I sell an account, I get credit to that, and now I can functionally measure my return on investment and my performance. If I sell a lot, I'm a high performer. If I don't sell a lot, I'm a low performer. But it's all on that salesperson's shoulders. And let me tell you, the hardest job in our industry is sales, right? The hardest job is being a BDR, calling and making appointments, right?
That's harder than a sales executive, I think.
These are really, these are really, really hard jobs. So, I talked about lowering the cost of acquisition. Well, one of the things, at Bluegrass, part of our lead qualification and distribution process is that there are 6 things that our qualifiers do before a salesperson even gets a lead. So we've done 6 things. We've touched those leads 6 different ways before handing it to a salesperson. And those salespeople know that when they get that lead, they're like, this isn't a discovery thing. This isn't
right. There's a higher buyer's intent already there. Yeah, exactly.
I know if it's small, medium, or large. I know what industry it is. I know what commodities are being shipped. I know if it's a one-timer or if it's an all year type of a thing. I know if it's global or domestic. I know a lot of things. I know it's a real company. And if I make a call, a real person's going to pick up the phone at some point.
Yeah, no, it's good when you start to get those sales and marketing teams working together, getting content from salespeople. I mean, there's so much more we can talk about, Mark. I can't believe this. We're actually over 30 minutes. This has gone so well. I've enjoyed every minute of it. This has been like a master class. I certainly hope that you'll come back and see us again on the show. Would you do that for us?
I would love to do that. And thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely, man. It was awesome having you. And everybody, make sure you come back tomorrow for a conversation. I'm going to have my good friend Chris Woods on the program with us. And it's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And make sure you check this one out. If you caught us late, jump in because a master class today with Mark Derks. And also, just in case you wondered, it is National Toasted Marshmallow Day, everybody. So go out and have a toasted marshmallow. Have a great time. We'll see you right back here tomorrow and every day at 10:30 a.m. Central for an episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
You bet. Have a good day.